Alright, y'all. So I got a couple different things I'm gonna talk about. Um, Mostly Joe Biden and Antifa. Now I mixed in a couple things. I am a little more prepared this time than I was last time. Last time I just kind of did a live, um, just to do one. Now this time again, I'm a little more prepared, so I have some stuff to actually talk about. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, first one is Joe Biden denounces all acts of violence after attacks on Trump supporters at MAGA rally, and Nancy Pelosi is silent on this. Now, President-elect Biden continues to denounce all acts of violence. Biden spokesperson Andrew Bates said Monday. Now, this is the part that got me. Okay. Now, I was out last night and I read this. Now, Andrew Bates, Joe Biden's spokesperson, said this. He said, although he did not name Antifa or Black Lives Matter, lightweights, he also condemns the resurgent displays of white supremacy that were made in Washington, D.C. this weekend. Bates continued citing a sign displaying at the march that read, "Coming for blacks and Indians first, welcome to the New World Order." Alright, first of all, you know, what does that have to do with anything? Okay. All the Trump supporters have been peaceful. They have been, nobody's been burning down anything, okay? That's the whole idea here, okay? Over 70 million votes for Trump, okay? And he lost to a rigged election, and yet we are still not out here rioting and looting, okay? Can you imagine if Trump would have won, how much would be going on right now? Can you imagine how much violence and destruction would be going on if he actually did win? Alright, like I said, Andrew Bates, Joe Biden's spokesperson, said, although he did not name Antifa for Black Lives Matter, likewise, he also condemns the resurgent displays of white supremacy that were made in Washington, D.C. this weekend. Bates continued, citing a sign displayed at the march that read, "Coming for blacks and Indians first, welcome to the New World Order." Again, that automatically makes you look bad, okay? And that makes Joe Biden look worse than what he already is. Yeah, this is my second live stream. Actually, a little more prepared this time than I am last time. Um, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer denounces all acts of violence. Um, Trump campaign spokesperson Aaron Perney had called on Biden to condemn the violence. And he's not gonna condemn the violence. He's gonna keep going and going with it because that's what he wants. He doesn't want police. He doesn't want National Guard. All he wants is Antifa to get what they want and Black Lives Matter to get what they want. And again, several thousand protesters for Trump came out. Okay, and again, these were actual peaceful protests. They were not so-called peaceful protests. These were actually peaceful protests where they actually went out there and were just voicing their opinion. There was no looting, no burning down businesses, no stealing, no shooting. Nobody got stabbed or anything like that. And so Antifa came out there, and Black Lives Matter came out there. Then, the first night, someone got stabbed, and 20 other people got arrested for either stealing, looting, or assaulting a police officer. Um, Number two, Black Lives Matter came out there, night two, okay? Again, same thing. It was all fine until they came out there and someone got stabbed again. Someone threw fireworks at them, okay? But this was all at Trump supporters. Okay, nobody was doing anything until they came out there. Uh, oh yeah, they definitely want a race war. Yeah, that's so true. Good morning, everybody. Um, that's the whole plan is a race war. That's why Joe Biden can't condemn the attacks made by Trump supporters. I mean, by Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Again, it was peaceful that whole night until Antifa showed up the first night, and then Black Lives Matter showed up the second night. Alright, and then the police are told to stand down. Alright, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to be in law enforcement no more, okay? It's always going to be a job I want to do. It's always going to be a job that I've wanted to do. But I'm not going out there just to get myself killed. You know, I mean, that's pointless. And, you know, while my city right now and my state is not, you know, that bad on law enforcement and they're not that tough, it will get that way. And like I said, there's no point for me to start a whole career just for me to go out there and get shot and killed or be told to stand down while I'm 2 feet away from my business being robbed or looted. You know, there's no point in me starting a career out there because it won't last very long. Um, let's talk about Alec Baldwin, okay? He says Trump should be buried in a Nazi graveyard and latest rebuke of the president. Again, whether you like Trump or not, okay, that doesn't give you the right. Good morning, and yes, I definitely agree. Police are always gonna be demonized and stuff like that just because of the media. You know, they're pretty much getting a target put on their back because of the media and because people are doing crimes and they don't want to go to jail. But the fact of the matter is, if you do the crime, you gotta pay the time. You know. So this is actor Alec Baldwin. The actor never missed an opportunity to voice his political opinions and criticize both Trump. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Got a phone call. Hello. Hey. Yeah. All right, I'm back. So again, back to Alec Baldwin. All right, whether you like Trump or not, number one, Trump's alive right now, so that automatically seems like you're suggesting that he should be killed. Is what you're pretty much saying. Number two, he, you know, I don't understand what people don't like about Trump. All right, he has done great for the economy. He's done twice. All right, he's showed great support for our police officers. He's shown great support for our military. He's trying to bring our military home. He's expected to bring another 500 home soon. You know, he's gotten great peace deals. He's got more jobs. He's done a lot for the black community, so a lot of black people should be voting for him. He's done a lot for them, a lot for the Hispanic community, and as you can see, the votes turned out there for Trump. So it's really the only people that don't like Trump are the people who either A, don't want to work, B, just want to collect food stamps, unemployment, or C, or just racist. You know, you can call Trump racist all you want, but really, look at who the racists are, and look who's calling out names and all this. Now, in addition to star calls for the president to be buried in a Nazi graveyard, bury Trump in a Nazi graveyard and put a swastika on his grave, he wrote Monday. The majority of Americans made the right choice. Trump is a maniac. Again, 70 million people voted for Trump, okay? And that's 70 million people that actually got their votes counted. Joe Biden got 73 million votes, okay? But how many of those votes of his are actually counted? How many votes of Joe Biden's were actually counted? And how many votes of Trump's look what actually were counted, okay? Trump, like I said, got over 70 million votes that were actually real, legal, and all that. Joe Biden got 73 million votes, but again, how many of those were legal? How many of those were actually counted? How many of those were not recounted? How many of those were not forged? Stuff like that. Alright, and in Georgia, they just found 2,500 votes that were not counted. And again, I don't think that the election is going to change that much with the recounts and all that, just because the votes are already fraudulently counted. And they're not going to change them being fraudulently counted because, I mean, they're not allowing nobody in there to watch them. Detroit had their windows boarded up, okay? Mail-in ballots were being burned, destroyed. Dumpsters were being set on fire. Mail-in boxes were being set on fire. All that, okay? And people are still claiming that it was not a fraudulent election. All right, and then you take it a step farther. You go to Nevada where they were telling the workers were telling the voters to use Sharpie pens, when we all know that's not going to be counted. But yet you're still telling them to use Sharpie pens. Again, it's. I think a lot more people voted for Trump than what they're actually showing. I really do. A lot more people are voting for Trump than what they're showing. Now, later in the day, the actor marked Trump again while employing a bit of self-deprecating humor. The 62-year-old actor replied to a tweet Trump wrote the previous day that simply read, "I won the election. I'm 40 years old," Baldwin responded. And he said, "I have a 12-inch shoe size." Okay, again, Trump did win the election. Joe Biden technically won, but it's rigged. I mean, anybody can win a rigged election. Okay, that's like perfect example. Okay, just like when you're in college football. Okay, the coach is you're the head of the team. All right, you're holding your team every game. You go out there, and they want you to play better. Okay, automatically, you know they're gonna offer you stuff. I know I'm not saying that's happen anytime soon, but it has happened. He followed up that with a tweet in which he praised Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for moving the economy in the right direction, simply for being the president-elect and vice president-elect, respectively. Now, with that being said, again, this whole election is not fair. All right, it's not hard to see that. Again, I don't see how anybody voted for Joe Biden just for simple reasons. Again, you want to get rid of law enforcement. That's number one. Okay, you can't even say the word law enforcement, and you want to get rid of them. That's the biggest thing to me. That's the biggest thing. All right. Number two, you want to raise taxes. That's not good at all. All right. A lot of people work paycheck to paycheck. With you raising taxes, you're gonna destroy the middle class. All right. And it's not just money coming out of your paycheck, okay? It's money that's going to be coming out of everything. Your gas prices are going to be risen. When you go out to eat, that's going to be risen. Going out to the grocery store, your prices are going to be risen there. But also at the same time, you're getting money taken out of your paycheck. And again, I know a lot of people right now that work paycheck to paycheck and they're struggling right now, okay? I know a lot of people that are middle class, but this will destroy the middle class if Joe Biden gets in there and raises taxes like he says, which I firmly believe he will. I have no doubt about that. It will destroy the middle class, and they'll leave nothing but the rich and the wealthy. Now, with that being said, if you got the money and you work for it, that's fine. But there are a lot of young people out there that are just getting started, and either A, don't have a lot of money and are just trying to get their way through, or B, they are middle class right now. Okay, including me. I'm young. I'm only in my 20s, low 20s. Okay, so I mean, this election has a lot to do, not just for me, but for everybody involved. I mean, think about it, even the rich. I mean, Joe Biden has already lied. He said, "We will not go into a nationwide lockdown again." He does not believe in that. Okay. So tell me why your advisor that you put in charge for coronavirus is saying that we need a nationwide lockdown. Because that's what he said. Then he had to go right back and revise his comments and say, "Oh no, I meant for certain areas." So you're telling me you're going to lock down certain areas of the country. Like that makes no sense whatsoever. You know exactly what you meant, and we all know exactly what you meant. Now, another thing is going back to police officers being attacked. Okay, Antifa, a lying group, cheers alleged arson at police officer's home, and on top of that, Twitter allows the tweet. They allow this tweet to go through. So you're telling me Antifa can burn down a police officer's home? Okay. And then on top of that, not only did Antifa burn down the officer's home, but they allowed the tweet of them praising the officer's home being burnt down. But Trump can't say that the election is rigged, and his tweet gets flagged for that. That's you know. And I haven't read this, so I'm just gonna read this with y'all. A group aligned with the radical left-wing group Antifa sent a tweet Sunday in which it appeared to praise an alleged arson attempt at a law enforcement officer's home. The group Pacific Northwest Youth Libertation Front included an article on how federal law enforcement agencies were investigating the incident, which law enforcement said might be linked to recent protests in Portland. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has already claimed the incident was arson. Alright, this is the tweet right here. This is so cool. The group tweeted along with the article. When contacted by Fox News, Twitter did not immediately say whether the post violates policies. So, if that doesn't violate your policies, but Trump saying the election was rigged, then you have some serious problems, okay? I mean, it doesn't take anybody. I mean, a 10-year-old could tell you the election was rigged right now. And that goes against your policies, but a officer's home being burned down and them saying this is so cool is not part of the problem. Like, I don't understand. A law enforcement official reportedly said that there was a concern in this case that the officer was surveyed and followed home. Sunday's tweet came after months of protests in cities like Portland and Seattle, where some destroyed or defaced property. And again, Antifa said they were going to do this. They said that they were going to go out there and they were going to follow officers to their homes and they were going to cause death and destruction to them. They said this months ago. Alright, and Black Lives Matter said the same thing, that they will follow officers home and till they know where they live and they will know when their family is there and whatnot, and they will destroy. Alright, I mean, the Youth Liberation Front describes itself as a network or decriminalized network of anonymous youth collectives, apparently stating its goal, the group says, direct action towards total liberation. The group has also resisted the idea that protests should be peaceful. To all the people on the streets who call themselves peaceful protesters, I don't know where you've been for the past 4+ years, but being peaceful doesn't stop the police. How do I know this? The account tweeted this summer because people have been doing this for years, before you hopped on a protest trend. Alright, one more thing. All these protests that y'all having is stupid, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Let's look at Rayshard Brooks. Alright, he was drunk, passed out at a Wendy's drive-thru. Police showed up. Alright, they wake him up. He gets out the car. Does the DUI test, fails. Okay, so when they tell him to turn around, put his hands behind his back. At this point, the officers know that he's going to jail. He knows that he's going to jail. Okay. But nobody wants to talk about that, alright? So, let's talk about the fact that he pulled an officer's taser out during a fight, alright? So, you're fighting with the officers, alright? You pull out the officer's taser, you fire the taser, alright? You already fired that shot, alright? So, now you are running. The officers are running with you, alright? They're right behind you. So, you're telling me the smart thing to do is to turn around with a taser in your hand. That's the stupidest thing you can do while running from the police. Now, a lot of people are saying that he was shot in the back, okay? He was actually shot in, like, the side area of his back. Now, with that being said, what do you want the officers to do? Wait till he turns around with the... I mean, who knows what he had? He could have reached down in his waistband and pulled out a gun. I mean, it's not hard. Alright, everybody's talking about, well, he would have dropped the taser. No. I mean, just stick it in your waistband and then pull out a gun, make the officers think you still have that taser. Alright? Another one, Dion K. I believe this was in Washington, D.C. There were two people. A woman called to report two men brandishing firearms in their vehicle. Alright? So, police officers get there. They're already out. The one person ends up running. Alright? He runs behind some buildings and he was later captured. Alright? He never pulled out a gun during this, and this is exactly why he got arrested. Alright? Dion K decides that he's gonna run. Alright? And then pull out a gun while facing the officer. Alright? So, they're running like this. Alright? Dion K decides, hey, I'm gonna pull out my gun, turn towards the officer, and he gets shot. Everybody's talking about, oh, he was trying to throw away a gun, he was trying to throw away the gun. Okay. Last time I checked, number one, running from law enforcement is not a good idea. You will probably get injured during the, while you're running. Whether you trip yourself, run through vines, whatever the case may be, get bit by a dog, tased, or shot, or tackled, you would probably get hurt. Alright, and he just happened to get shot here, and that's what happened. Alright, and he died. And they also shot him one time, and he just died from that one gunshot wound. Alright, I mean, don't pull a gun out while you're running from law enforcement. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty clear-cut, simple, alright? Breonna Taylor. This is another big, high-profile case. Alright, this case here is bigger than George Floyd. Breonna Taylor, alright? Officers show up to do a no-knock warrant, but they knocked, alright? And there's evidence saying that they knocked on the door to announce themselves as police officers, alright? So, they knock on the door. Police, open up, alright? Boyfriend gets up, shoots the cop in the leg, alright? No gunshots were fired before that, alright? Or, I'm assuming the boyfriend shot, okay? He's saying Breonna Taylor shot and the officer, alright? I'm just saying the boyfriend shot because I feel like he's the one who shot. Anyways, alright? One officer gets shot in the leg. They go back into the hallway, start firing, alright? Breonna Taylor is killed in an incident, but she's not the perfect angel, innocent person that everybody thinks she is, okay? Number one, her ex-boyfriend was involved in a drug deal, okay? She was part of that. Not only that, her new boyfriend, her current boyfriend, was involved in a drug deal, which she was involved in also, okay? Number two, pictures have come out with her with guns laying across her chest, pistols, ARs laid across her chest. There's been some with her and her boyfriend with guns laying across their chest. But nobody wants to talk about that, okay? Most gun owners that I know are not going to go on Facebook and just lay out with the guns across them. Okay, number one, that's asking for trouble. Number two, I don't need people to know what guns I got, or if I own a gun or not, okay? I mean, as simple as that. I don't need people to know what I own or not, okay? Whatever I got or don't got is for me, my family, and my protection. Alright, it's not for the world to know. And let's talk about George Floyd while we're at it. Alright, everyone's talking about, oh, well, you can't justify George Floyd. You can't justify that one. Alright, well, yeah, you can. Alright, number one, he was there selling, trying to pass counterfeit bills. Alright, yeah, I don't know how it is in each state. I always thought that it was a federal offense to do any kind of money crime. But y'all can let me know. Y'all have more experience in that than I do. But with that being said, he was there trying to pass counterfeit bills. Alright, police officers are called. Now, he is in a tiny compact vehicle, okay? He's not in no big SUV or anything like that. In a tiny compact vehicle. Breathing just fine. Alright, so the police officers get there, they get him out the car. Alright, then he starts screaming, once they start wrestling, he gets on the ground. I can't breathe. Alright, he won't go in the back of the cop car. Alright, so he's saying he can't breathe. Now, me as an officer, if I heard that from a suspect, this is where everybody's talking about it. All right. Yeah, you could roll him on his side. All right. Was he actively resisting at the time, where he was saying he can't breathe? Yeah, you probably could turn him on his side then. Okay. Now, as far as Derek Chauvin goes, he was the officer there that had the most experience on the force. Okay, he should have took control of the situation. All right, the other two officers were rookies. All right, you had one going on crowd control. You had one on his legs. So Derek Chauvin should have rolled Floyd over on his side, kept the other officer on crowd control, and had the other officer help him just detain him. All right, and again, I've never been in law enforcement. I'm not in those situations, but that's just how I feel. All right. Now again, did a knee on the neck kill George Floyd? I don't think so. All right. Because like I said in previous videos, I didn't know this, but apparently Minneapolis Police Department teaches them the officers to put the neck on the suspect. All right. So I didn't know that. So whether that killed him or not, I don't know. I don't think it did. I think he was crashing on drugs, and that's what killed him. All right. I mean, it's clear that he was on drugs. He said he's been doing drugs. And he crashed due to drugs. I mean, it's sad that he died. But everybody's talking about it's the police fault. No, it's really not the police fault. All right. Now with that being said, his family has gotten so much. All right. From a folded American flag. Now, last time I checked, the folded American flag was for fallen service members, fallen soldiers, and fallen first responders. That's all I'm saying. Okay, last time I checked. I don't understand why he's got a folded American flag. Okay, and think about the woman that he robbed at gunpoint, the pregnant woman that was robbed at gunpoint, where he put a gun to her stomach. Like, can you understand how she must feel right now? For his family to get a folded American flag. Okay? And again, the officers did not kill him, I don't think. I think he just died because he was crashing on drugs and the media wanted something to talk about. Alright, you can say what you want, but the media just wanted something to talk about and they got something to talk about. Alright, so his family should not get a folded American flag. As far as all the holograms going on with him, again, he's not a war hero or anything like that. He is a criminal and he just happened to be killed. Alright? Simple as that. People just want to demonize the police for any little thing that they can find, and that's what they're trying to do. Again, from all those I just read, from Deon Kay to Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, all of them. Alright, they just want to demonize the police to make them look bad in any way they can. Now let's just do one more story that I found. This is about a Florida man charged with a crime spree involving an 8-year-old boy. Again, he did all this because he didn't want him to be soft. He wants to toughen him up. Now, when Ernest McKnight, the 36, was asked by a detective why he had a child with him, he replied, "I was trying to toughen him up. I don't want him to be soft," Brian Birchie, a spokesperson for the Polk County Sheriff's Office, said. He said the boy was with McKnight of Winter Haven last week when deputies saw McKnight burglarize 3 unoccupied dwellings, stole a car, and made off with a package stolen from a porch. The alleged crimes all took place in the city of Lake Wales. Taking a child out with you while you're committing felonies is not the proper way to create a positive influence. I'm quite confident that there is not a child psychologist out there who would agree with this guy's idea of proper activity for a child. An arrest affidavit says McKnight was arrested Thursday after leading deputies on a high-speed chase after they spotted him in a stolen vehicle at Red Hyundai taken from a road surveyor. Okay, now get this. Alright, listen to the speeds of this. The affidavit quotes deputies saying they clocked McKnight going 120 miles per hour. Alright, 120 miles per hour, alright? And not only that, he had his kid with him. And only after they caught up with him did they discover he was with a child. Like, he could have easily lost control and killed that kid. Alright? Now, the boy was reunited with family, Birchie said. Now, thankful for that, okay? But, think about it, this kid could have been killed. Like, it could have been one wrong move, one wrong turn, and the vehicle could have flipped, ejected him, and he could have been dead right then and there. Simple as that. Or, let's just say the kid was crouched down, okay? In between, or crouched down in the passenger seat or in the bed of the truck, or some trucks have the little back area where you can lift up the seat in the back, or he was in the floorboard, whatever the case may be. Okay, let's just say the officers didn't see him. They go to do a pit maneuver. Okay, they don't see the boy, and the truck spins out, flips over, and he's dead that way. Think about the officers who have to live with that for the rest of their lives, thinking they didn't see that boy, so now he's dead. Or even a spike strip, okay? I mean, going 120 miles per hour, that's, that's a lot of speed, okay? So let's say the officers lay out the spike strips, alright? So you're going 120, alright? And again, let's just say that the police officers didn't see the boy, okay? Let's say, again, he's crouched down somewhere. They lay out spike strips, alright, going 120. If you don't slow down dramatically, you're going to spin out, okay? Now, again, spike strips are designed to slow down the speed gradually. But, I don't know, going 120, I just think that it would automatically spin out. Again, and if they didn't see the boy, and they would have done something like that, then think about that. The officers have to live with that for the rest of their life, knowing that they killed this boy because of this man's actions. Again, that is not the way to toughen your 8-year-old son up, okay? If you really want to make your 8-year-old son tougher, then what you need to do is be a good father, okay? Be at home with him every night, okay? Spend time with him, bond with your kid, alright? Play football with him, play video games with him, watch TV with him, just spend time with him, okay? Be a good father, alright? Don't take your kid on a crime spree with you, rob 3 places, steal a car, steal a porch, package off a porch, and then, take your kid on a 120 mile per hour chase. That's not how you toughen your son up. That's how you end up going to jail for multiple felonies, and probably ruining your child's life now. Because now he's going to have the mindset of, hey, well, if my father can rob 3 places, steal a car, and lead the police on a 120 mile per hour chase, I can do the same thing. And he doesn't understand now. Alright, again, he's 8 years old, okay? So he's not really, obviously he understands, hey, I should stop for police officers, and I shouldn't rob places. Okay, yeah, he's old enough to understand that, but he's not going to understand the consequences of what is going to happen when he has to pay the price for that, okay? He don't understand that this man just committed multiple felonies. Again, he understands it's wrong, but he don't understand. Felonies can be 5 years, 25 years of life in prison, okay? And this man committed like 4 felonies right there, okay? So, obviously that's going to be time in jail. But, with the way the justice system is and the court system, he'll probably be out, and that will be bad for the kid. Alright, I don't understand how you could bring your 8-year-old kid on a crime spree with you. Alright, so with that being said, I've been going live for about 35 minutes. I would do longer, but I got stuff to do today, so I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow. It might be a little bit later, it might not be till like 1, maybe 2 o'clock when I do the live stream. But anyways, y'all definitely stay tuned for that. I'll try to do like a 30-minute reminder until then, but I'm just going to wrap it up. My final view on it. Thank you, Rick. So as far as Joe Biden goes, denouncing all the acts of violence, Alright, you're stupid, okay? Joe Biden, you really are not all the way here, okay? Again, I'm just going to reread what Andrew Bates, his spokesperson, said. Andrew Bates said Monday, although he did not name Antifa or Black Lives Matter. Likewise, he also condemns the repugnant displays of white supremacy that were made in Washington, D.C. this weekend. Bates continued citing a sign display at the march that read, "Coming for blacks and Indians first, welcome to New World Order." Again, Joe Biden, you seem like the real racist. I can't believe you allow your spokesperson to say this. That makes you and your whole team look bad. It makes you look like the racist. Again, all the protesters there were actually peaceful protesters. Again, that's something we haven't seen since this whole thing has started, okay? Again, Trump supporters were actually the ones being peaceful until Black Lives Matter and Antifa showed up. Alec Baldwin, all the other actors out there, if you don't like Trump, okay, that's on you. That's one thing, okay? You might not like Trump, you might not agree with what Trump says, you might not view Trump as your favorite president, whatever the case may be. But for you saying he needs to be buried in a Nazi graveyard and all the other attacks that you have done on him, you are part of the problem. You are the problem, okay? As far as Antifa cheering the alleged arson at a police officer's home, Twitter allowing that tweet, okay? Again, Twitter, what's wrong with you, okay? You tagged President Donald Trump's tweet, okay? For saying the election was rigged, which again, a 10-year-old kid could figure out that the election was rigged. Maybe a 5-year-old kid could figure out the election was rigged, alright? Anyways, you don't allow those, but Antifa is cheering that a police officer's home was burned down, okay? And yet you're allowing that tweet to go through. Okay. You see what side Twitter is favored on. Alright, and to follow up, as far as this Florida man, how do you bring your 8-year-old son on a police chase? You teach him to lime a life of crime, but you bring him on a police chase. I just don't understand that one. But again, I just want to follow up on these stories that I covered today. So again, I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. But again, I'll definitely be back with another live stream. As always, thank you all for watching, liking.